What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. So I'm doing a Q&A video this time. It's been about a year since I've done one of these, so I thought it would be apropos to do another Q&A. I'm also organizing my current batch of Polaroids that I've taken over there. Let's see, about 7 years, I think. So there's a lot here. I just got the Polaroid photo album. This Polaroid photo album, this is the large version. It holds about 160 photos, 8 per page. So I'll show you what that looks like. It's super slick. These were out of stock for a while and I was like dying to get one. So as soon as they came back in stock, I picked 2 up. I actually have 2 because I plan on, continuing to shoot Polaroid, and I'm just excited to have them in a book like this, because for a while in my old apartment, I was just putting up on the wall, which is really cool, which, I'll definitely miss that, but I really do like having them in a book to display it this way. So while I'm answering questions, I'm going to be organizing my Polaroids. So let's get started. All right, so I am going to start at the bottom, and first of all, thank you guys to everyone who's sent in questions. I really appreciate it. This question comes from Film Community Chicago, and they ask, why did you choose your Leica M4 over other Leica M cameras? Well, I really liked the way the Leica M looked. I like that there's no logo or anything on the front. Super sleek. It's also more affordable, so that was another selling point. I do hope to one day own an M6, just because I really like the ways those cameras look. Also, I like the idea of having a meter as well, but right now wasn't in the cards. So I am currently in love with my Leica M4, so it's keeping me happy in the Leica regards anyway. So this is, I'm trying to organize this by like year, by I guess year. I didn't date any of these Polaroids, but I can kind of tell where I was at in my life when I took these. And so I'm starting off with like my cross-country drive. If you can tell, these were like the Grand Canyon. This is Arizona. It's my buddy Mignon who made the drive from Connecticut to California. And this is just really fun. This book is like really nice. But anyway, okay. Let me get on to the next question. JP.WTF asks, if you could bring back any discontinued film stock, what would it be, and why is it Lomo f2.400? Well, it definitely would be Lomo f2.400. If you guys don't know, I've been obsessed with this film since Lomography launched it, I think in 2018. They released it in small batches, and once it was gone, it was gone. I have been fortunate enough to basically buy it on Facebook Marketplace. People have gifted me rolls, which I'm so grateful for. It is definitely my favorite discontinued film stock, and I hope one way or another it comes back. So, great question. So Real.CM asks, if you had to only shoot one format in film stock for the rest of your life, what would it be? So it would probably be, it would definitely be Portra 400. I know that's like, everybody feels some type of way about Portra, but I really love that film, and I probably shoot it in 35. I love medium format, but I don't shoot it. 35 is kind of my go-to. I don't shoot medium format a lot, and I'm not into the large format realm just yet, but I would say Portra 400 or any of the Portra 160, 800, and in 35 for sure. Great question. This one comes from Chased Harm. They say, do you print your photos, darkroom or otherwise? So I haven't printed in a darkroom since like photography school, outside of visiting Rob at Safe Life Labs that one time. That was super fun for me to get back in the darkroom. Of course, my dream is to either have a darkroom in my house someday, or open a community darkroom lab, creative space type thing, to get back in the darkroom to make darkroom prints. But other than that, I'm also looking, once we move out of our small apartment, to get a printer and start printing my own work. Other than that, I do send them out to a lab to be printed. Not as often as I should be. I do get them printed once a year for our Analog Talk print exchange. That seems to be when I do print my work, but printing your work is very important, and I plan on doing more of it in the future. Whew, this is hard to organize. I also kind of want to organize by, like, you know, I have a bunch of palm tree photos. So I can organize it that way. Decisions. Okay, another question. Bring up another question. And this question comes from Timothy Makeups. And he asks, number one goal / priority for your photography in 2021. Well, I definitely want to shoot more. I miss shooting in the studio with musicians. I've been really feeling bummed about that. That's kind of where my photography started, in high school and beyond. I've done a lot of work with musicians here in LA too. Not a lot, but I have. And I was looking over some photos recently, and I've been feeling bummed that, you know, obviously with COVID and everything, everybody's kind of on hold with a lot of their photography things. But I would love to get back in the studio with musicians in 2021. That's what's been on my mind recently. So keep your fingers crossed. It's coming along pretty good so far. Show and tell. These look cool. This is so cool. I love this book. Okay, next. And this question comes from Andy Dreads BMX. And his question is, are you planning to get a 4x5 or 8x10? So I will share with you real quick right now. In this box is an Intrepid 4x5, and I haven't unboxed it yet. It came from our former guest, Tyler Brevery. Thank you so much for hooking this up. I'm gonna do an unboxing when I get more pieces to the puzzle. I still need to get a lens. I need to get a dark cloth. I need to get a loop. I need to get film holders. There's a lot of stuff that goes into large format, and I'm gonna piece it all together and then get my kit set up. So yes, I plan on getting a 4x5 because I have one and I'm so excited to use it. Great question. Thank you for that one. And this question comes from Han from Restore from Backup. She says, besides the Yashica T4, what's your favorite camera? So I will say that right now, my favorite camera is my Leica M4. Owning a Leica was on my white whale list for a long time, and I've got to say, I don't want to be a Leica snob or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that Leica is going to make you the best photographer in the world, but there is something about the Leica that is different. Just the way it feels, just the sound of the shutter, it's a game changer. It's a game changer, and that is my favorite camera besides my Leica, or besides my Yashica T4 for sure. So, great question, huh? Thank you. Okay, this next question comes from Jessica Lee, and she asks, what inspired you to do the podcast? So this is another really great question. So I knew I wanted to get involved in the film photography community for a long time. One of the main reasons was that I didn't see a lot of women in the community, or at least people that had a voice, that were putting out content. This was back in, I would say, we started our show in 2017. So like 2016, 2015, I was starting to feel like I wanted to do something. And I'm a creative by nature. my YouTube channel came first, so I was kind of getting my feet wet with being a YouTuber, and I wanted something else to offer to the community. And I reached out to somebody who put me in touch with Timothy, and we've been going ever since. So yeah, and we've been lucky enough to talk to a tremendous amount of wonderfully talented photographers, and it really is my favorite thing ever to not only be a nerd with fellow photographers and fellow film photographers and fellow like-minded people, but also sharing those people with people in the community who may not know about what they've got going on. And also I've made a lot of friends. I will say I've made a lot of friends because of Analog Talk. So I'm very grateful. Oh, great question, Jessica, thank you. So I've got a lot of questions about what my Desert Island camera is. Funnily enough, girl with too many cameras asked Desert Island camera question mark. And Cotton Rich Film, he says, is the Leica M4 now your Desert Island camera? And I will have to say, it absolutely is. It's actually out to be CLA'd right now. So she's away from me and I'm like having major withdrawals, and I'm counting the days till she comes back to me. All fixed up, of course. So yeah, Leica M4 is currently my Desert Island camera. But if I had to pick a point and shoot, it would be my Yashica T4. I can have two Desert Island cameras, I think. I don't know. Okay, next question comes from Pierre Champion, and he asked, what does photography mean to you? Okay, so this is a fantastic question. I don't know if I can articulate what photography means to me as a broad general statement, but I really honestly, if I'm not making photographs, I'm talking about making photographs, or I'm looking at photographs, whether it's my own or photo books of, the greats, or Instagram, people that, I'm sharing people's work on Instagram. It really means everything to me, not to be cliche in that person, but I've been taking photos since high school, since I was like 15, and I really don't know where I would be without it. Not only as a professional, but just even as not only as a professional, but just making photographs for myself, personal work. I would say it definitely sustains me. So sorry if that's super emotional, but yeah, photography is everything. And then, yeah, great question. All right, I'm gonna take one more question from In an Instant, Mr. Ben. This is kind of funny that I'm doing all my Polaroids and Ben's asking a question here. He says, how do you balance seeking meaning in your photography versus pure aesthetic delight? Whew, that's a hard one. I think photography having a meaning is, it all depends on if it's if it's a paid job that you're doing, and there's a meaning for that. You're hired to, create images for a brand or an artist or a couple, if it's a wedding photography. Pure artistic pleasure can go hand in hand, I think. If you enjoy doing what you're doing, it's the best of both worlds, right? Getting paid to do what you love is that's the dream come true. How do I balance it? I try to take the jobs that will provide both. Sometimes you got to take the gig that is the boring job, whatever it may be. If it's not your jam, but you got to pay the bills. I hope that you find inspiration in your personal work or personal projects, things like that. I've definitely been on jobs where I had to just pay the bills, so I think we all can relate to that. But as long as you're making space for what drives you and what keeps you creatively satisfied, I think that's how you balance it. I hope that answers the question. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna continue filling up my binder here. But I wanted to say thank you to everybody who sent in a question. I hope my answers weren't too boring or anything like that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye. Thank you guys for coming to my Q&A, and just show you this. These Polaroid albums are freaking the best. These look great. I'm so happy. Anyways, thanks guys. I'll see you next time.